Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of my Flosstube slash YouTube channel slash podcast about crafts and knitting and cross stitch. So I had a short one last week, but I do have more stuff to show you this week, so hopefully that'll make up for it. So this past couple weeks we had more stuff happen. We had friends visit in from Columbus, so we got to go out to lunch with them. We also had a couple of our other friends from the area who knew them from high school. If you aren't from Cincinnati or don't live in Cincinnati or have lived in Cincinnati ever, there's something about high school here. They just really get into like where they went to high school, who they went to high school with. It's a huge deal here. So basically my spouse, friends from high school, and their significant others all met. So we had lunch on the weekend. We also went to the local library branch to hang out and play mahjong because one of my spouse's friends is actually a professional mahjong player. I forget what it's called. It's the kind of mahjong that's like the Japanese version. So they play in tournaments. So one of our other friends also likes to play. So they got four together and played games for a while. After a while, I kind of forced them apart and told them we were going to go to Keepsakes because we ended up being like 5 minutes away from Keepsakes, and I knew one of my friend's partners definitely wanted to go, and I just told them that because they're like, oh, but we can't stop. We need four for mahjong. Like, you've played it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's okay. We can stop now. So we went to Keepsakes, so that was fun. Our spouses and partners got to sit outside and be patient while we oogled and oohed over all the cross stitch. So I also finished some things, so we can get started with that. So first, I finished my sheep camp sweater. So here's the whole sweater. Yeah, it's nice and cropped, but not too cropped. I sewed a little tag in the back. It just says wool. I got these from local sewing shop. I think it looks really good. I love these two colors together. People always state how nice they pop. I didn't really adjust the length of the sleeves. I think I made the ribbing like a little bit longer than called for on the bottom and the cuffs. But other than that, everything was pretty much to pattern. I think I messed up somewhere and the sleeves are like a little wider than they should be. Just my counting, I think, was a little off. But it's okay. It fits okay. So yeah. And I did finish it in time to have like a couple chilly days where I could wear it when I went out running errands, or I went to the dentist and got to wear it, and then got to wear it at stitch night at the local yarn store and show it off. So I was glad about that, but now I can put this away. It's all blocked, it's washed, ready to be worn next year or next time it gets chilly. It has warmed up here, but I expect that to, be on and off. It is spring in Ohio, so. Another thing I finished, so this is a bit of a surprise. So this one I just kind of did on a whim. So I've shown you before I got some waste canvas. So I used some waste canvas and I cross-stitched a sunflower onto this yellow t-shirt because I noticed this t-shirt I thrifted and there were a few spots. I'll show you if I can. Yeah, there are a few spots that needed mending. So I had a few mending spots anyway. So I figured I could maybe try embellishing it, and I think it turned out pretty cute. Again, the flower I got from like Cross Stitcher magazine, like one of the cross stitch magazines, I forget which one, but it's I checked it out through the library app, so it didn't cost me anything. So I just used waste canvas. If you never use waste canvas, you like kind of pin it or tack it down to the fabric, and then it's like a Aida. So you stitch over it, and then once you're done with the project, you soak it so the fabric's wet, and then the waste canvas is wet, and then you pull out the waste canvas like one string at a time, like with tweezers, and eventually it leaves you with the picture on your fabric. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. I think it is kind of weird sewing on like a stretch fabric, so might be next time easier to do on a woven fabric, but I think it looks pretty cute. I definitely want to try doing that with more of my clothes, like more things I thrift and things that need patches and things. Oh, I also patched up the brown corduroy pants, but it was just like a simple patched up in the back. I was going to add the sunflower to the corduroy pants, but I was thinking maybe the fabric was kind of too thick. But we'll see. Maybe I can get like a different needle and it'll work better for it. But those are my two finishes. My whips, so I have ongoing whips. So right now, since it was a full moon, I do have my full moon stitch. Now this, I would have been farther, but I noticed I made a mistake, so I ripped some back, but I did get some progress in. So here we go. You know what? Yeah, it's easier. Yeah, and this is Black Cat Hollow Part 1 by Barbara Anna Designs. This is 16 count Aida by Needle Bling in the color Broomgrass, and I'm using the Call for DMC. So yeah, I had another one of the little keys stitched in, but I realized I put it on the wrong branch on this little tree, so everything else was off. But other than that, it's going pretty well. It's pretty cute. I kind of wish I had gotten all 3 parts of the pattern just so I could have one big thing, but this is a good start for now. I may go back and either like make them as separate things that they, you know, hang on the wall separately together, or maybe sew them together into a pillow together. I'm not sure, but I like the pattern so far. I kept the skin color for this witch, what was called for. I'm thinking about doing skin conversions on the other witches, because there's a few other witches in the scene, and just so they're not all the same, and just to add some visual interest and to make things more diverse and more interesting. I also put everything in. So I got Flossaway bags. I made a trip to Joann Fabrics to see if there's anything good that's on sale. I got some Flossaway bags, so I'm trying that for this organization. I think it works pretty well, so I'm going to try to maybe do that more. And more on my acquisitions later, but just for that one. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, next I have more progress on my Irish Blessing. So let me get that out. So this one, again, is by Tiny Modernist. I am just using the called for... Sorry, you're getting spoilers for the acquisitions, but I did get a needle minder at Keepsakes. But I'm getting more around, so I'm back around to this corner. I'm going to slowly work my way up so I can get to the top. There's like a house in the top, and then it'll be done except for the back stitching, so I can go through and do the back stitching. But other than that, it's going pretty fast. It's not a huge pattern. It's like a good decent white fabric, so it's easy to read. This is my first time using even weave or anything other than Aida, so I'm really enjoying it so far. It is harder to count, so I have been off a little bit here and there, but I've been able to fudge it. If you count it, I think there's a leaf I have to leave out here because there's just no room for it. And I think I'm off by like 2 rows, and I think I may be off by like half a stitch or 1 space in the pattern there. But I think it's all still working out fine. Again, this is the pattern by Tiny Modernist. There's the house on the top it's going to look like, and that's what it looks like finished. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it so far. I definitely want to get that done soon, and so I can maybe start some other projects. Because because I've got some other patterns I want to start, but I just don't want to keep my whips. I want to keep my whips down to a certain amount because otherwise I think I'll get overwhelmed. So I'm trying to keep it down. But next one I also worked on is my Dimensions kit. So this is Magic in Motion. So here's the kit. Again, this is a vintage DMC kit, not DMC, sorry, Dimensions kit that I got on eBay. And so again, sorry, everything's in hoops. I haven't had time to iron anything. But I've gotten a little further. I'm getting more of the robe. Again, like, it doesn't look like I'm doing much, but when I step back, you can kind of see where it's coming all together. I got more bottom of the robe here. I'm somehow off by a couple rows, so there's a couple extra rows that are going to be in the robe, so I'm just going to have to work that out. So for my I haven't run out any colors yet that I need. The only couple I'm worried about are the ones that don't have that many stitches, but they're kind of spread out, so I just need to have enough to tie them off or you know, start them out. But yeah, I like the colors so far. Again, he doesn't have a head still. I think I'm going to save that till last, and then I can go in with the French knots and the gold and things like that. But yeah, really excited about how that'll turn out. I was thinking about making this room that I'm in here kind of my place where I can hang all my stitchy things. So I want to go with like kind of a whimsy goth magical theme. So I'll have moths and wizards and witches and things like that. So I definitely want to keep that in here and then get that finished and get it up on my wall. Next up is knitting whips. So I was gonna start a children's sweater, but I decided I just wasn't in the mood to knit any sweaters right now. It was stitch night at the local yarn store, and I just decided to grab one of my sock yarns and start another sock. So this is, this yarn is from Laughing Cat. It's a indie dyer, and the colorway is called Ophelia. Like the original label, like had the picture from, I think it's John Waterhouse did the picture. Excuse me. And, but yeah, so I love the colors. So I grabbed that, like, that was like months ago, had it in my stash. So I cast it on. What I'm doing is, because I've been seeing like ruffle socks, like socks with little ruffles on them, which were cool when I was a child, but I guess they're coming back. But so I decided to try one. So it's hard to see, but it's just the beginning of the ruffle basically. So the pattern I'm using is Shorty Sock Set by Summer Lee. It's a set with 3 different kinds of socks in it. I think if you just care about the ruffle, I think you can probably just adjust a pattern of your own or that you already have. There's other patterns in there that I wanted to use, so that's okay. But like really a ruffle it all it takes is like you cast on twice as many as you need and then reduce down by knitting 2 together all the way around after a couple of rows. So it's not that difficult, but again, yeah, it's just super nice and cute. I was looking at patterns that like have the ruffle in like mohair, but I don't really have any scraps in stock that would go with these colors. So I'm gonna hold off on that till maybe another day. And I also worry that it might get too warm. I just want to kind of like cute little shorty socks to wear in spring, and I like the springy colors. Okay, so acquisitions. I haven't started anything new with cross stitch yet, but I do have some possible plans. So we'll get to that. Acquisitions. So like I said, I made a trip to Joann Fabrics to kind of scope out their like sellout situation. The DMC threads I found were, they had like 4 or 5 colors left, but they had like an entire shelf of the one color. So if you want to like maybe get like a lot of one color as like a long dog or something, now might be a good time, but otherwise I'm not sure. It was kind of limited. I got some plain plastic bobbins, those DMC stickers that never seem to stick to anything. I picked some of those up for a sale price, excuse me, and got those, and the Flossway bags. But oh, I did pick up some foam core boards. I forgot to bring them over here as like to show my projects, but I want to try to final finish and frame with it. So I'm gonna experiment with that and see how that goes. I've never used the foam core boards, so I'll see how that goes. Also, I placed an order for seeds, and they came in the mail, so I just got a couple. So what I ordered from Grand Prismatic Seed. So they were online. So these are Hopi Black Dye Sunflower Seeds. Because what I want to do is, because Hopi Black Dye Sunflower, it's you know, hint by the name, that's so you can use these seeds as a dye to like make things black or a dark gray to purplish. So I want to plant those. They also, part of the proceeds from the purchase from Grand Prismatic Seed went to a charity that helps the Hopi people. So I wanted to support that as best I could. I also got some bicolor dyers, corposis or coreopsis, sorry. So these are like an orange and yellow and, you know, red flowers that are again used for dye. I did a workshop on natural dyes, so I want to use those as, I forget what it's called, but like, when you basically smash things with a hammer and it leaves dye on a plain piece of fabric. I want to try to do that, maybe with some cross stitch fabric, I don't know. And yeah, see how that goes. I also got some milkweed seeds. Those are in the fridge right now. A friend of ours also gave us some milkweed seeds. So we're gonna plant like a whole milkweed area in the backyard for pollinators, especially monarchs, and any other pollinators that would eat milkweed or you know, overwinter or lay eggs in milkweed. So I've got that. We also went to Keepsakes, so I'll show you what we got there. So again, we were going with one friend who was visiting from Columbus, so they were excited to see it. They don't get to Cincinnati as much, so I just wanted to make sure we went and saw that. And again, it was like the last hour they were open on a Saturday, so it was pretty crowded, but we made it around, got a couple things. I got a Mill Hill kit. So I wanted to get a Mill Hill beading kit because I want to practice beading some more before I do it on like larger projects. So I got the Holiday Express. Sorry for the glare. So if you know anything about my spouse, they love trains. So I thought that'd be cute for either our tree or it comes with stuff to make it into a magnet so I could put it on the fridge. But I thought this was cute. I didn't like any of the, like, they didn't have as many options for like the Halloween ones in the Mill Hill bead kits at the time at the store. So I got one that was like Christmassy, so I figured that'd be useful. I also got the needle minder that I showed you. Again, I just wanted more needle minders just so I don't have to keep switching around my Raven one all the time. I also got this pattern because I've been thinking about it every time I see it, but Little House Needleworks Warm Winter Woolens. Yeah, so it's a cute little sheep wearing a cute little sweater and little pants. I just, you know, I like to knit. Again, like I finished my sweater. So I just thought this was really cute every time I saw it. So definitely excited about that. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, next this weekend, I went to Scrap It Up. If you are in the Cincinnati area, Scrap It Up is a thrift store that specializes in like craft supplies and art supplies. So especially if you have children and you want to get like a bag of crayons, that's like the place to go to get it for a good price. So I picked up a few things. I usually go in there every once in a while and see if there's anything cross-stitch related that's really good. I think I came up pretty good this time. So I got this hoop. It's got the little spring top on the top. I've never used one of these before, but I was kind of curious about these kind of long oval hoops, so I wanted to try it and see how it goes. Again, I don't think this is like a super valuable one or anything, but it does have like the cork and the spring. So I just wanted to give it a shot, see what it was like. Okay, next, I got this kit from Dimensions. It's called Love Petite, designed by Karen Avery. Let me see, it's from 1996. So here's the picture of the kit. So I just like the colors and the you know, the basic love thing. And it also, if you can see, there's a little tiny heart charm, and that's still in the kit. So everything's still in there, which is sometimes hard to find with these. I did see like on eBay, someone has sold this kit for like $15. These are like 50 cents at Scrap It Up, these size kits. They have a little bin. Like they aren't always like complete. There is one in there that's like just a pattern, but sometimes you can find some treasures in there. I also just got some Aida fabric. So this is just 18 count Aida. Let's see, it says it's by Regency. So it's 100% cotton, made in USA. So I just wanted some basic fabric. Again, I thought this might work for the sheep, the woolens pattern that I got. So I think that might work. I think the pattern calls for 32 count fabric. So 18 count would be smaller, but wouldn't be too bad. I also got this, it says 28 count Irish linen from, let's see, from Charles Craft. So this is like something you would get at the Joann Fabrics or Michael's or something years ago. Yeah, when I brought this up to the front, the cashier was like, "Oh, you found a good one." So yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't opened it yet. I've never bought one of these. Like, again, when I was stitching back in the 90s and 2000s, I was like a Aida stitcher, and my mother was always an Aida stitcher. I don't think we ever really had linens or anything lying around that I can remember. So I've never used these. So I'm thinking maybe these dowels are like to hang it on a scroll rod or something. Also when I brought it up to front, because it says 28 count, I think the person was confused and thought it was Aida, because she said, "Oh, 28 count, that's tiny." So I think she was thinking it was like Aida and it would be like 28 count, as in like 28 tiny little squares per inch, which I didn't correct her because I didn't realize that's what she was meaning. but yeah, so that was left out. Next, I got a booklet. So this is Say It with Wildflowers. It's by Backstreet, sorry. There's the cover and there's the back. Say It with Wildflowers, Backstreet. I think I looked at the year. It was like 1982. Yeah, so this is from 1982. So basically it's an alphabet with like wildflower motif. So there's what the full alphabet for the uppercase letters looks like. They also have lowercase letters, but they're like plain. So what I really want to do is I want to take like a fancy lettering, like an old fashioned cross stitch lettering like this, and you know, make squares. So my main plan is to make one that says FAFO. If you know what that means, you know what it means. If not, look it up at your own risk. There are swears, so just to let you know. But so I have that just for in case. I also just think the letters are pretty, so I can use those for lots of different things. And again, these were not expensive. The whole, like, every single thing I bought here was less than $3. Like my whole trip was less than $3. So if you have like a store in your area that does like that kind of thing, like they benefit the local arts. So it's a nonprofit for that. So they like benefit local artists. They, you know, they employ people. it's a really good organization. So, but like, I think a lot of places have those kind of things. It's just maybe people don't know about them. So definitely research, see if there's one in your area. Or if you're in the Cincinnati area, try to get to Scrap It Up. Parking's a little weird. You park in the community center next door, basically. But yeah, I think it's well worth looking at for one of those places. You may not find something every time. Like, I've definitely gone in there and not found anything. But sometimes you look out and you find exactly what you need. So I definitely encourage people to go out and get that stuff if you can. My plans right now, I'm just going to keep working away on my whips. Again, maybe start warm winter woolens. The kit I have, I think I'll maybe just save that for like a rainy day kind of thing. But again, the love kit is pretty cute. I want to final finish and frame my Baba Yaga from Witchy Stitcher. So we'll see how that goes. I think I have a print frame that'll work. So I'm going to try that out. Next is I want to talk about what I've been watching / reading / learning about this week. So I finished the book Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. If you've never read anything by T. Kingfisher, she does really great books. Like, I've never been disappointed by a T. Kingfisher book. This one is based on the fairy tale of the Goose Girl. I didn't know that one as well. It's not like as well known as like Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty or something. But if you've watched the Jim Henson Storyteller, I think one of the episodes has a story that's also similarly based on the Goose Girl. But that's interesting to look into too. I would say with Sorceress Comes to Call, if you are triggered by parental abuse or abuse in general, that may be something you want to either skip or think about again, because if I would compare it to Tangled. Like, Tangled is a lot more of a tamer version, but the like implications of like a mother controlling her child in a way that it could be very disturbing for certain people, or it's disturbing in general, but like, again, your own mental health journey. Like, if you need to avoid stories like that, I completely understand. I would say it's a very good book, but just be cautious of that. Right now I am listening to Jolene by Mercedes Lackey. So my spouse really likes fantasy books. They were just creating like a Mercedes Lackey kind of fairy tale thing. And they had heard about Jolene. I think it came out in 2020. So Jolene is part of her Elementals series, I think it's called. So I've only read a couple Mercedes Lackey books, but this one is part of the Elemental series. So there's people with like magic powers that are aligned with the elements. And Jolene is kind of takes place in like Appalachia, like coal mining territory. And it is like a play on the song Jolene by Dolly Parton. So I haven't gotten to that part yet, but my spouse says there's basically parts where they're just quoting the song. So that's fun. I like it so far also just because it is good, like an interesting representation of a fantasy version of like Appalachia that we don't often see. It takes place in kind of late-ish 1800s to early 1900s, I think, is when the series takes place, because I think Sherlock Holmes is a character in that series. But it's again like in the mountains in Appalachia, so there's a different cultural aspect than the same kind of Victorian London that we kind of just see over and over again. So I appreciate that. I also listened to that one we brought through Libro, the audiobook for Jolene. It was not available at the local library. And Sorceress Comes to Call, I also listened to the library version. Murderbot also is available at our local library on audiobook. So I listened to the third Murderbot Diaries book. Again, I forget what it's called. I think it's Rogue Protocol. But so my spouse is a big Murderbot fan. With the TV show coming out, they're trying to get me more interested. Again, we don't know if we're gonna see the TV show. We'll see how it goes, but definitely, like, I'm enjoying the series so far. The third book, they are I think going back to the research facility, so like the books aren't very long. So I would say give the first one a shot if you haven't already. You know, it's about a kind of cyborg-ish robot who's, you know, trying to deal with stupid humans and corporate entities. So I think it's a good series so far. I don't want to spoil anything because, again, they're pretty short, but people are getting excited for the TV show. So I thought they might be interested. I also, just lately, I watched the video by Kaz Rowe on Oscar Wilde trials. And that really, because she showed a few clips from the silent film up on Salome, and it reminded me that I'm really fascinated by that story and Oscar Wilde's play and the opera that's based on it and everything. So I kind of went down a research hole, learning about the silent film from the 1922 for Salome. So I found out it was directed by Alla Nazimova. She had her husband's name on it, but she directed it, and she also starred in it as Salome. And she was like a really fascinating person. So if you want to learn about her, she was either bisexual or lesbian or queer. Not sure how she would, you know, define herself, but she was definitely part of the queer community at the time in Hollywood. So she did some really cool things. She was like the first woman to have her own movie studio, because she was a producer on that Salome film as well. So I've been fascinated by learning about her. So I'm definitely getting more into that and like just the Salome story in general. So yeah, so that's all I had for today. So if you want to learn more about that, I would definitely look into it. I am so thankful for you coming to see me and coming to listen to me talk. Thanks again. I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.